In this short video, we're going to look at equivalent fractions. Here are some fractions that are equivalent. A half is equal to 3/6. 4/7 is equal to 8/14. 3/9 equals a third. 6/9 equals 2/3, and 3/8 equals 12/32. So what does this all mean? Why are these fractions considered equivalent? Well, let's remind ourselves what a fraction is. A fraction is part of a whole. So in this bar here, it's been divided up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal blocks, and 2 of them have been shaded. So the fraction that is shaded is 2/5. In this circle here, it's been divided into 4 equal parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 of the parts out of 4 has been shaded. So a fraction is part of a whole. So what are equivalent fractions? Well, if we look at our two pies, if you like, one of them has been split into 6 parts, 6 equal parts. Another pie that's exactly the same size has been split into 3 parts. Now, if we look at the purple part, we can see that the purple part is equivalent. So it takes up exactly the same amount of space on each of the circles. On the left-hand side, we can see that 2 parts from 6 are purple. And on the right-hand side, we can see that 1 part from 3 is purple. And we say that they take up exactly the same space on exactly the same size circle, that these are equivalent fractions. Let's look at some more. If we look at this diagram, we can see that not only is 1/3 equal to 2/6, but it can also be considered equivalent to 4/12. Again, the green area is the same in each bar. The bar is the same side, it's just the number of divisions, so 3 in the first case, 6 in the second, and 12. So if we go from one equivalent fraction to another, what we'll see is that from 1/3 to 2/6, we have multiplied the top number by 2 and the bottom number by 2. And if we want to go from 2/6 or 1/3 all the way over to 4/12, we've times 1 times 4, and we've times the bottom by 3 times 4. So top and bottom, 1 has been multiplied by 4 and 3 has been multiplied by 4. And this gives us the equivalent fraction 4/12. So if I want to find fractions that are equivalent to 5/7, all I have to do is multiply the 5 by any number I choose, and I will find an equivalent fraction. I must, of course, multiply the top number and the bottom number by the same number for it to remain equivalent. So 5/7 has an equivalent fraction of 15/21. So let's look at some fractions to see whether we can spot whether they are equivalent or not. So is 6/12 equivalent to 1/2? Well, if I started with a half and I times the top by 6 and the bottom by 6, I would get 6/12. So yes, 6/12 is equal to a half. In this example, we ask ourselves, is 2/3 equal to 3/12? Well, if I multiply the 3 by 4, I will get 12. So I can multiply 3 by a number and get 12. But if I multiply the 2 by 4, so I multiply the 2 by 4, I don't get 7, I get 8. So 2/3 is equivalent to 8/12. It is not equivalent to 7/12. Another way we can find equivalent fractions is by dividing. If we look at the fraction 8 divided by 8/10, can we find a number that goes into both 8 and 10? And if we can, let's divide by that number. Well, 8 can be divided by 2, and that gives me 4, and 10 can be divided by 2, which gives me 5. So 8/10 equals 4/5. Equally, and this is called cancelling down. It's finding the simplest equivalent fraction. So 12/15, I look for a number that goes into 12 and 15. That number is 3. So if I do 12 divided by 3 and 15 divided by 3, I will get 4/5. So 12/15 is equivalent to 4/5. So this ends this short video on equivalent fractions.